Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is, Gateway's got it. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM-certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. Welcome into another episode of The Mom Game. I'm Emily Jones. She is Julie Dobbs. And I'm going to pull back the curtain really early on. We were going to air this show later because we're getting kind of a little ahead of ourselves because of the holidays. Yeah. I'm going to call an audible, and this show needs to air. We got too much shit to talk about. Yeah, I agree. Relevant, timely stuff that in a week from now, it's not going to be
Okay, here we go.
So I just made that
calling
decision.
an audible.
Do you agree with this decision?
On-field audible. That works
totally
for
on
me.
field. Because I feel like we have so much to talk about. Like
I know, you're right.
I scared my kids with a Sasquatch this weekend.
Oh my gosh, I had that in my notes to talk to you about the Sasquatch.
We have all the sports to talk about.
All the sports, career news.
We have a shit ton of stuff to talk about.
We do.
There is no need. We can readjust the schedule. The great thing is we've got some really cool guests coming up to kind of close out the year. We've got Sam Gannon and Mike Ducey from Fox 4. We have Danny Bayless. We have Norm and Mary from The Ticket. Mayor Bear. So we got a lot of great guests lined up to get us through the holidays. And I think people will enjoy listening to those, because they're fun, entertaining characters and people that have great stories.
Yeah. And I feel
we just need to talk.
Yes,
we
I
need
agree.
to talk. We need to talk.
I agree. Okay, so where do we start?
I feel like we should start coming in hot with the Stars winning 7 straight games.
Coming in hot like the Dallas Stars, if you will. We were there last night and they won their 7th game in a row, 8th home game in a row. So they've just been red hot at home right now, which is exactly what they needed after a rough start.
So I keep going back to Rick Bowness being like, F this, I know what's wrong and I'm going to fix it.
And sure everyone kind of like scoffed and was like, okay, what coach doesn't say that?
But what was it?
He needed the team to buy in. He needed the players to buy in to what he was telling them to do. There were a few, it's like you're head coach. Okay. You've got a group. And you're trying to get them to go this way. And one guy goes that way. And then one guy goes that way. And you keep taking steps back. And then all of a sudden, this guy tries to get this guy to go that way. Or this guy's thinking about something that's not team related. Or this guy's thinking about an injury that's not team related. You know what? F all of that. Buy in. We're a team. Play like a team. If you need to change your role around, then do. As a coach, if I need to change what I was doing around, I will. But I think he's finally got full buy-in, and all it takes is a couple of wins in a row for everybody to say, oh yeah, you're right, coach, this works.
Right.
Winning is fun.
Okay, so you say that, and I agree, and I love it, and I hear it. Buy-in is huge, but it's one thing to say it. I need you to buy in. Mm-hmm. How did he make them buy in like they did? Or was it basically some really good timing on his part and the fact that things started to kind of trickle in the right direction, the wins started piling up, and now this team is on fire?
Both. I think you can't discount the goaltending that really helped get this run started with Jake Ottinger in net. You have to have confidence and you have to have good goaltending. You have to have confidence in your goaltender for everything else in front of the goaltender to work properly, right? And,
Got it.
And Ben Bishop wasn't what they thought. Braden Holtby has rebounded now that he's a little bit healthier, but he was going through a funk as he was working through an injury. So that's when everybody starts gripping their sticks a little tighter. They start panicking. They start, not playing as loose and free and offensive and everything else that you want. Jake Ottinger came up from the AHL and kind of helped anchor them in net. for a while as they got their footing. You had a lot of the defensemen. You brought in like Ryan Suter. You brought in a couple new guys, and they were getting going with their new team as a decor, and that takes a little bit too.
A what?
As a decor, defenseman.
Oh,
like we brought in a couple of.
Thought you were like mispronouncing detour, or if there's like four.
You were about ready to pile on.
No, I was just like, this is a new hockey term. I didn't know. Or this was like, there's an A core and a B core and a C core and a D core. And this was the D core.
Yeah, well, the D core really stepped it up. They're trying to make the A team.
First string core. Okay, listen, I'm putting my lack of hockey knowledge out there.
Well, that's what we can do here, right?
It's very apparent that I don't know a ton about hockey.
We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Like you can run circles around me when we're talking about the Rangers. But yeah, the decor as a whole, like that's important. That's a huge part of what this team was. The Stars' identity is defense and goaltending, and both of those things were not clicking. Now they are. And then you've got like Rope Hintz and a lot of the younger guys, like we talked about on the last show, really stepping up and leading the way offensively. And then, yes, once you start winning those games, the team sees that, like, hey, this guy, just coached his 2,500th game behind the bench, might know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He might know what he's talking about. And there were distractions like the John Klingberg, he's working on a contract and like negotiating and like just things like that you deal with in professional sports that get in the way sometimes of just playing the game. And so I just feel like all of those things factored into a rough start to where people, myself included, are like, I just don't think this team can do anything.
Right. I think a lot of people said that.
A lot of people. It's like, let's just throw it away. Like this season's, maybe I'll win a few games, maybe not. I don't know. What are the Mavs doing? What are the Cowboys doing?
But it's great because all it takes, and that's the beauty of sports, especially, and granted, hockey season is still very long, 82 games. But you talk about, a stretch like this where you win 7 or 8 straight. That's a significant, you're talking about not quite 10%, but damn near 10% of your season.
That can really turn things around.
Totally change the complexion of something.
Oh, for sure.
And that's what's so beautiful about sports is that all it takes is one run can change the whole dynamic. And I don't care what your friends at the ticket say, there is such a thing as momentum.
I am always on the side of momentum.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
belief.
there is that. There is a snowball effect.
100%.
And it can go both ways. And you get it going the right direction.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome.
It is. This team's always been pretty streaky, whether it's winning or losing. Yeah. And that's how I know that there's proof that momentum is a thing. But yeah, 7th win in a row, tying a franchise record with their 7th win in a row last night against Arizona, which to me is like, damn, they haven't won 7 in a row.
Yeah, that does seem
franchise.
Crazy. But when you think about that, it's 10% of their entire season.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's still a lot.
And
Not quite, but
I had a feeling going last night because they'd won 6 in a row, which was in itself just amazing. And I was bringing the kids. We had family in town. I was like, this is going to be the clunker. I was like, this is going to, because I've just watched so much of Stars hockey over the last few years, and I, like a lot of fans, are like, this is too good to be true. Like they're just going to lay an egg tonight, And then they come out and they played really well. They fought the Arizona Coyotes like down to the wire. It was 1-1, then 2-1, and then all of a sudden Jamie Benn did what Jamie Benn does and scored a couple of late goals, and it was 4-1.
And Jamie Benn's press conference afterward, they just crack me up.
Oh, I know.
But he has good things to say. But just the way he says them, you're just like.
He has no time for press conferences.
No time for press conferences.
He has no time.
But you know what? He goes out there and talks, and he gives good answers. Yep. It's just he's not about to pretend like he's enjoying this process.
No, that's his whole thing.
And you know what's so funny is I'm so old, and he's been around so long that I remember interviewing him for Stars pre and post game and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I was probably doing Stars Insider with you, and I had you interview him sometimes.
How long ago? Like 12 years ago? How long has he been here?
Like 10. 10 well, let's see. Kelly, I think, is in his 11th season. No, 12th. You know what? I think it's 12.
You know what? I have a computer right here.
You do. I want to say 12 because he and Kelly started at the same time. And then that's around the same time that I started covering the team too. So I remember little baby-faced Jamie Benn, bright-eyed looking at Mike Modano and all of that.
God. Okay, let's see. Texas Stars. Dallas Stars, he was drafted in 2008. I don't know, when did he make his debut? I'm really bad at Googling things.
It's okay.
When did Jamie Benn Isn't this riveting podcasting?
2009. Yeah, right around then.
Jamie Ben make
2008, 2009.
is. Okay. I'm so terrible. This is a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. But yeah, no, I used to have some fun interviews with him, and if you put a mic on him, he's really good. Like he's what that team needs as a captain, I think. And so I was glad to see him score last night. I'm ad-libbing here.
Well, and I love to see too I'd love to see the veteran guys. 2009. Ben made the Stars roster for the 2009-2010 season and scored his first NHL goal on October 11th, 2009. Holy
2009.
S. So he's been around, 12 years.
Crazy?
You're right.
Time flies, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's terrifying.
12 years.
Okay, so things going really well for the Stars.
Yes.
Things not
They're
going...
hitting the road, though, Em.
They are. A West Coast.
Today.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, a long road trip.
3 games.
3 games. It feels long because I guess just the time of year.
Yeah.
Vegas and then LA and then Anaheim, I think. Vegas and LA back to back. So this I feel like will be a really, really good test because they've been, had a lot of home cooking lately. We'll see if you can bring it on the road and hopefully at least win. If you win 2 of 3, we're looking good.
Yeah. It's not the case for the Dallas Mavericks. Shit appears to be falling apart at a rapid pace. And granted, they're without Luka, have been without Luka a lot, been without Luka and KP a lot.
Yep. They've lost 7 of 9 games since Luka sprained his left knee and ankle.
And that's as of December 7th. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just, I just don't feel like, and I feel like the heat's already starting to come on Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you judge this dude as a coach by when he doesn't have his even close to his full arsenal of players? Like when you're out,
no, coaches are always judged without their full arsenal.
But without your top 2, like I understand if you're missing 2 or 3 ancillary guys, but you're missing your top 2 players for the vast majority of the time.
I think that the criticism that is out there right now would be more centered around if he is doing a good job handling the players in their roles and their personalities more than like the record even, because the record isn't good right now as of late. But I think when you're talking about like him expressing some frustrations with Luka and what he's saying and doing, and it's like, oh gosh, that worries me more than like losing 3 or 4 in a row.
Right.
It's like if you bring Jason Kidd in to be the Luka Doncic whisperer as a former point guard and like, oh, I know this guy can come in and really tell Luka whatever the magic is that he needs to hear to utilize him best and get as much out of him as possible. And then already you're hearing whispers that like he's frustrated with Luka and the way Luka plays and whines and this and that and some of the things Luka's saying. That's not good because you know what you have with Luka, right? Like, you know what he can do on the court. You also know that he's really young and that he is a lot emotional. So you need your head coach to be somebody that is constant and consistent for you and not like getting involved with the back and forth or saying anything outwardly about being frustrated with Luka. You can't say that to the media, you know? So anyway, that worries me a little bit more. And then Kristaps Porzingis, obviously, just can't be healthy, the poor guy. Like, it's always something with him. And I always try to give him the benefit of the doubt because I like him. I think he sounds like a good dude. And
I do
he's obviously
too.
got a whole lot of potential.
We want this team to do well. Like this, I want the Cowboys, the Stars, the Mavericks, the Rangers all to do well. It's much more fun. Those are my teams, have been all my life. So yeah, it's just much more fun. They're just in a funk and they can't seem to find their way out.
Yeah, this is the note that I had. Jason Kidd noted that Luka's constant complaining to the refs often results in poor transition defense. He said that.
But it's so true.
Right, but you can't say that.
So true.
Don't say that to the media.
Yeah, but listen, maybe he's trying a different tactic. I mean, we've seen a lot of different things from Luka early in his career. When he didn't come into camp really that in shape for like a professional athlete. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's trying some different tactics to see what grabs this guy's attention because it's been Luka. Whatever we can do to make Luka happy is what we're going to do. That maybe
that's why Jason Kidd was brought in to make Luka happy.
Right, but not necessarily. Maybe they thought he could get the most out of him.
Yeah.
But I think if you follow Jason Kidd as a player, he's not pulling punches.
Right.
He's not holding back.
Yeah.
I don't think they were asking him to bite his tongue.
So do you think that...
I don't think this was like, oh, we're bringing Luke in so he can just have a buddy in Jason Kidd. That's not the way. That's it. From what I know, and I haven't followed Jason Kidd's coaching career too terribly close, but I know
it
as a
hasn't
player,
been great, and he has a history of butting heads with players
Right.
and kind of treating them like shit when he gets mad.
And there's a reason why they felt like Luka needed that.
Right.
So I think that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
The fact that he has that reputation, they're trying to make Luka happy, but at the same time, they still brought this guy in.
I see what you're saying.
That's not a coincidence.
I don't know about complaining about the refs, though.
But dude,
that's
there
like
is
in
no
Luka's...
one worse in the NBA than Luka. It's such a bad look. Especially for such a young player. It's a terrible look.
I agree. I'm not defending that by any means, but when you're taking jabs at something that's who he is. If you think that's really a problem, like go talk to Luka behind closed doors.
Don't you
guys
think
work
they
it
have
out.
a gazillion times?
Okay, say you're Luka Doncic. Like that's probably the one thing that you're criticized about the most. That probably pisses you off more than anything. All he's ever said in rebuttal to that is that he's passionate about the game. I'm passionate. I know it's bad.
And you know what,
I'm in the heat of the moment, and you know what makes him so good? His passion.
But you know what? You know who's in 100%, and you can't be in control of so many things in sports. He's in control of that. And so to me, that's inexcusable. You have absolutely 100% control over that. You can't control where that ball goes when it leaves your hand. You can't control if somebody blocks a shot. You can 100% control that. So you're an elite athlete, and you're telling me you can't have the self-control to shut your trap and stop complaining about the referees. I don't get it.
Okay. You love emotion in sports.
Absolutely.
You love like celebrations.
But, right.
You love when the Rangers like get heated and maybe do like,
Right. But totally different when it's detrimental to your team. It is. It's great.
I don't know how controllable it is.
You're telling me an elite athlete of that caliber does not have it in him to control himself from saying things to the referees that continue to impact his team.
I don't know. Don't you think he would if he could?
No, I don't think he wants it bad enough. And I think that's probably the case with a lot of things.
I mean, if it's just like keep your mouth shut and still do everything you're doing, everything else you're doing on the court, keep doing that. Keep playing hard, keep playing passionately, keep, whatever, leading the team and scoring every single damn night that you're out there and carrying the weight of this team on your shoulders. But just don't talk.
Don't yell at referees. I think it's pretty cut and dry. Don't yell at referees.
All right. Well,
like how
you go in there and you tell them.
Well, no, I'm just saying that.
I'm saying,
but I think that's what they're getting at.
But
like,
I'm saying,
uncle, dude,
yeah.
uncle. Like it's the same thing over and over and over again. Everybody talks about it, and he acknowledges it. But then the fact that you can't fix it, like that's something I don't understand.
Yeah, and I don't know how to measure if it's gotten any better or worse or what. Like,
let's look I'll look up how many technical fouls he's had this season because that's a good indicator.
Okay, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll take a quick time out. Hey, right now, why don't we talk about our awesome sponsor, Noble Vines, while I look up this very valuable information as we're in a very heated argument about Luka Doncic and his treatment of the referees and how it's impacting the Mavericks.
Yes, Noble Vines wine. Right now is the time to get yourself.
It's the time.
Tis the season. I need some wine right now.
Yes.
Dealing with freaking Emily.
Stuff it.
You're probably hosting a lot for Christmas, or maybe you're going somewhere for Christmas, or maybe you need a little treat for all of your coworkers, your boss. Who doesn't like wine, especially Noble Vines wine? We love them because they support us so much here on the show. They were a big part of our launch party. They were a big part of our Do It for Durit Foundation. I say our, it was more of an Emily party.
You were there.
The Do It for Durit Foundation. They donated all the vino for that. They support me on the ticket. So all of that should sell you on it. Also, the wine is really damn good. My father-in-law is in town from Canada right now, and he's been drinking it up there. He comes in town, and he's always buying that 337 Cabernet Sauvignon. So Noble Vines, keep them in mind for the holiday season. Noble Vines must be 21 or over. Manteca, California, please drink responsibly. Thank you, Noble Vines, for continuing to be a good partner for us here on this show.
Okay, so this is what I found. Again, I just established in this brief show that I am the worst Google searcher in the history of America.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
someone
didn't know
claim
it
to be
was
a
that
like
hard.
elite Google? Oh, it was Dak. Dak Prescott. Remember he said he was like an elite Google?
That's
like,
right.
I need some lessons.
What
Dak,
is- yeah.
help a sister out. Like, my Google skills obviously suck.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's got nothing going on. He can give you some Google training.
Zero going on. Okay, so he's got 2022. Luka Doncic has, oh, damn. This isn't even, per game. I don't want per game technical
Yeah, that's
fouls.
kind of a hardcore
season
stat
totals.
to look up on the fly. I feel like comparing.
So
them.
he had like 15 last year. And remember, there was like this whole, he was on the verge of missing games if he would have gotten like one more. Mm-hmm. And then, you know what happened? He didn't get any more.
He didn't get any more.
And he found a way to keep it in check.
Okay, so I don't know. I didn't mean for that to turn into me defending Luka. Yes, he needs to be quiet. I know. But to me, more of the problem is if if Jason Kidd, the head coach, is like airing that dirty laundry to media. That's where it gets like ticky-tacky for me. I would just rather, if it's something personal like that, which is personal to Luka, you know that's personal.
I totally get it.
Then
I see what you're saying.
Then that's something that you can talk about behind closed doors, because you don't need to give the media any more shit.
But sometimes coaches do that as a strategic play.
Yep.
And so that's why I'm saying just something to consider. Okay, he's got 4 as of right now. He's not even in the top 10 because Rudy Gobert has 6 leading the league, and then there's a whole slew that have 5.
Okay.
So maybe he is. Maybe he's getting better.
Maybe he is, and you'd like to hope that if this team does make it into the playoffs, that kind of thing, you won't see that shit.
Yeah. But I think it's a good discussion to have about coaches, how they play things, how they sometimes manipulate, use the media, if they so choose, and sometimes how it backfires. And
I don't know that I trust Jason Kidd that this is his his elaborate plan to use the media to try to. I think it's just Jason Kidd not really knowing how to talk to the media, like to coach speak, versus talking honestly.
Or he just doesn't give an F, and it's like, I'm just going to say what I want to say.
So we're all learning, right?
Yes, exactly.
About him and how he's going to do his thing here.
Yes. Okay. Now on to Cowboys.
Mavs play at home tonight.
Tuesday. Keep in mind.
Right.
Yeah.
This will air tomorrow. But hopefully, I feel like a good win against Brooklyn could turn. You just need one good win.
Dude, you need more than that.
Right.
But they need to get something going.
Yes.
Agreed. Cowboys got something going in New Orleans.
Yeah.
When was because that was a Thursday night game.
It feels like it was so
wheels
long
off. It was
ago.
so long ago. So I think probably people have heard everything they want to hear about that
9 days
game.
in between games.
Yeah, so
Cowboys
they'll get ready.
8-4 now.
Yeah, and speaking of having healthy players, it looks like they're going to have the fullest complement of players that they've had all season, with guys coming back from the COVID list, guys coming back from injury. Mm-hmm. The question there is,
Amari Cooper.
Dak doesn't look right.
Dak doesn't.
Yeah.
Look right.
So and everybody's talking about pre-calf, post-calf injury. Like, is that it? I don't know.
Okay, but what was the game where Atlanta? They just freaking rolled Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he looked really good in that game.
Yeah.
Really good. So you feel like it's there. If there was something that was lingering, yes, it could definitely still be there, but he's got the potential to just come out and look like the MVP caliber player that he
I just think this is a team that's been in a funk, and maybe a win, gets them back on the right track.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't read too terribly much into it. I mean, people have been saying you've got to learn how to win ugly, and they won. New Orleans wasn't exactly the most beautiful game ever played.
It wasn't. So it's just like, do what you can to learn as much about your team in these last, the last fourth of the schedule or whatever.
Yeah.
Get your shit figured out before the playoffs.
Yeah. One more football note. Did you watch the Monday night game between the Bills?
I did.
You were at the
I was
Stars
at the
game.
Stars game.
So it's the Bills.
But I saw the weather.
The
and
Bills
stuff.
and the Patriots. It was so wheels off to watch. Bill Belichick is so ridiculously good at coaching football. It's almost nauseating.
Yeah.
You're like, there's no way he's going to, whatever. No Tom Brady. Those two were together, and then both of them go out and prove, we're going to be just fine without the other.
Yeah.
But it's so
it wasn't
ridiculous.
fair that they were together for so long, I guess.
Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times. 3 times.
Are you serious?
Swear to God, 3 times. They ran the ball every play except for 3.
Well, in that weather, right? You kind of have to.
Well, but meanwhile, Buffalo's throwing like 40 times. You're like,
that's all we got in our
they were
bag.
like 20 or 40.
I don't care about this weather. This is all we can do.
Anyway, I kind of, and call me a glutton for punishment or the gawker at train crashes or train wreck, whatever.
Yeah.
Train wreck.
Yeah.
It's hard to turn away from a train wreck. But like watching games like that are like a blizzard or the wind's blowing 800 miles an hour, for some reason it's so entertaining to me to just watch. I mean, I like to watch like, a 38 to 35 game too. But, the games that are just so wheels off, I really, really enjoy watching those.
Watching them on my couch under a blankie with like something warm to drink. Going to that game, you'd have to.
I'm not going to any game like that. No,
a lot.
And I remember when I covered college football and I did Big 12 sidelines, and there would be like games in Ames, Iowa, and Lawrence, Kansas, in
with terrible weather.
Oh, it was awful, and I would get so cold. I remember one time I had these furry boots on, and and I put them up against, have those like big giant like jet propelled propane heaters that can like heat an entire football bench. And I kept getting so close to it. And all of a sudden the fake fur on my boots caught on fire.
Oh no.
And it's not like a flame. It's basically like singed hair. And so all the players on the side
were like, what's that smell?
What is that smell? And I was like, oh, nothing. It's just my boots. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. It's kind of like when my hair caught on fire.
That's what I was gonna say. Why do you catch on fire so much?
I have a problem.
Are there any other
issues?
Yeah.
I started a fire when I was little too. My dad had to come put it out.
Okay. Wait, what do you mean
you
started a fire when you were little?
So we were playing with matches.
Oh, Emily.
I know. Jeez. In the because we liked the way they smelled. Does anyone else I'm not weird, am I?
No.
Other people like the way matches smell.
Yeah.
And so we were playing.
That's why they light them in the potty after they do bad things.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't even remember what grade I was. Maybe like 7 or 8. And so we were lighting them, and in like the dead of the Texas summer on this dead ass grass. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. And it was in an alleyway.
You started a fire.
I started a fire. And so it was me and a friend of mine, and then it kind of got out of control, and I was panicking. We were trying to put it out, and then finally I was like, I'm going to get my dad. And my friend was like, don't. And I'm like, we're going to burn our neighborhood down. So I went and got my dad. Luckily, he was mowing the lawn.
Dad, I started a fire.
I know. And so, God bless him, the things he had to put up with me growing up. But so he ran across, this was like 2 houses down and across the street. So he ran into those people's house, probably unannounced, and went through the backyard, and they had a sprinkler, and he came around back and put it out. So all was well. Yeah. So that was, my dad didn't really spank me, but I got a spanking that day.
You did.
I did. And I fucking deserved it. Are you kidding? I started a fire, could have burned down our neighborhood.
And it, I guess, didn't even process when you were doing it that could happen.
No.
That's why kids are dumb.
Yes. No, I was thinking like, well, there's a possibility I could burn the neighborhood down, but I'm going to keep playing with matches because it's fun and they smell good.
What else do you think it's going to do? Make a fire.
I just wanted
purpose.
Listen, I wasn't very smart.
I hope that my kids never make a fire in my front yard.
That would be terrifying. So too. Yeah, it would be. So yeah, that lots of fire stories for me, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a recurring theme here. But yeah.
A little pyro amongst us.
A little pyro Emily. So we also have some, do we want to talk about Sasquatch or my big news?
Let's talk about Sasquatch first. Let's get that out of the way. I want to hear.
Okay. So we had a moms and kids trip to, Broken Bow, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I bid on a house at the Dirt event golf tournament. And so I won it and invited. We couldn't find a date. I was going to, do like a couple of families, like my family and someone else's family. But then we couldn't, the schedules didn't match up. Those damn dads. I mean, if a husband goes fishing in the Amazon.
Is he back yet?
He's back. Praise God. And I missed him so much. I was like so happy to
I could tell you missed him.
I did, which I think is a very good thing.
It is good.
And I think maybe because I haven't traveled significantly in the last 2 years, that there was something about that. Like there is something about the absence makes the heart go fonder, and it makes you appreciate them more. You appreciate the things that they do that you might not realize otherwise.
Yep.
So anyway, moms and kids, we all loaded up. So it's 4 moms, 7 kids, go to this cabin in Broken Bow, have the best time. I mean, just kids in the hot tub. We had a tournament for the kids. If you can get to Broken Bow, highly recommend it.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's going there.
Super fun. We went out exploring and did a couple trails, and then there's this cute little saloon we went and ate at for lunch. Anyway, had the best time. So as we're going to our house, there's like a sign that's like Sasquatch for rent. We're like, what is this? So we had a couple glasses of wine and we're sitting around and I was like, y'all, let's do the Sasquatch. Like, this is amazing. How cool would this be? Let's do the Sasquatch, but let's rent the Sasquatch to scare our children and for nothing else.
Right.
So start texting him, and my friend Tara's texting and going back and forth, and
I didn't know Sasquatch
like
is
$75. I'm like, $25 tip, $25 a piece, $100 in. We are doing this.
Yeah.
So we set up the time for like the next day at 1:30. And so all the kids are playing out back. And so I meet the Sasquatch in the front of the house. And so what we do is we pretend like we're taking like a group photo of all the kids, which of course they're all beaten down by, all super annoyed by. And so we're trying to time it just perfectly. And sure enough, my friend Tara's, filming it, but she thinks they're taking pictures.
Brilliant.
And then as it happens, the Sasquatch rounds the corner of the house and scares the shit out of the kids. And it was so amazing. And then the kids start throwing stuff at it. We're like, no, don't throw anything at it. Like, let's just do it.
Yeah. Like, what if their instincts are like when you're in the woods and there's a beast, you try to kill the beast.
Yes. So
but it's like this poor person that's only getting $100.
A few of the boys, one of which was mine, was a little aggressive with the Sasquatch. And I'm like, take it down a notch. It's a friendly Sasquatch, like whatever. But anyway, it was a total blast.
So then did they take off the
No,
costume
she never took it off, but I could tell it was a lady, but she never took it off. But yeah, then we got a picture with the Sasquatch, and then I'm not doing Christmas cards this year, which I feel like you should be very proud of me for.
I am very proud of you.
But I did come out with a Christmas card, like a digital Christmas card that I'll post on social media, of my children with the Sasquatch.
Nice.
Yeah. It's
like, Dad's out of town. He's been replaced by the Sasquatch.
The Sasquatch. But I'm not in it, just the kids. That's kind of my preference for Christmas cards these days.
Yeah.
However, I did put Mike and I in ours last year, which was a joke. Anyway,
well,
I digress.
Yeah. I think mine's turned into a New Year's card.
Has
I still haven't done it.
Yeah. And you know what? I even had, it was so funny. I had a meeting today with my boss at the Rangers at John Blake, and he was like, "Where's your Christmas card? I thought yours is usually one of the first Christmas cards I get." And I was like, "You know what, John? I'm not doing a Christmas card this year." And he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "I'll send you a digital Christmas card." So that's what I'm going to do. And I feel good about it. I
like your fake John Blake.
Thank you. Oh, I've been working on that. I've been working on that for years. What is this idle TV
I don't know.
standby?
I was waiting for you to notice.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll
power
through it. So anyway, I made the decision. I was like, I'm standing firm in it. But as I started getting Christmas cards myself, I was like, oh.
That's each one hurts a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing it. I'm like, I need to save money. I send out like 500 Christmas cards a year.
Oh,
it costs $1 bazillion.
Yeah.
It takes $1 bazillion hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Were you hand addressing?
No.
Yeah.
I do the labels.
Yeah.
But still, 500 cards. It's like,
oh, I know. Because
stupid.
I've just been trying to do like 75 and it's like $150 or something.
It's ridiculous.
So
yeah.
And then we got a family photo session.
But see, if you get family
an
photos,
auction thing,
right? But if you get family photos done, I feel like
now I have this family photo.
Yes.
That I have to do something with. So I'm feeling like I need to do a card. I didn't last year and it was like wonderful.
Yeah.
I just posted something on Facebook and I was like, I'm done. I gotta, we can all only manage so much. So I feel like when you're able to pick and choose and prioritize and not try to do everything in the world.
I know.
It can help. That's what Lynette probably would have told us.
Yes.
Life coach.
And
Lynette.
so I was like, I'm taking this off my plate.
Yes.
And another thing I took off my plate that you did by yourself. How did the angel go?
Oh, we need to talk about the angel.
Okay. Oh my gosh, my girlfriends are going to die. So we talked about this on the trip and I go, I'm gonna give you some odds on this actually.
So you're talking shit about me?
Completed. No, but we were talking about taking stuff off your plate, and I was like, Julie said we should do an angel, and I was like, I agree, but I'm leaving town this weekend, so you're gonna have to do it on your own. And then I looked at the requirements of doing the angel, and it seemed a little bit overwhelming, and it was a lot to do, and I figured the execution might be difficult in a 48-hour time period.
Yeah,
but I absolutely did say there's no way this gets done by Saturday.
Well, yeah. Here's my caveat. So the angels are different this year, where it's not a specific kid. Like if it was a specific kid, I would have grabbed it and gone straight to do it because it's like this kid. So I don't know how or why, and maybe this was just because it was the tail end of it. Maybe there were specific kids, but it's like it said lost angel. So somebody that for whatever reason doesn't have a gift, or it goes to like the people that are in the in a homeless shelter, but it's like a blanket gift. It's like you can pick age 5 to 7 boy, and it'll just say whatever an age 5 to 7 boy would want. You know what I mean? So it didn't say like this is for Jacob or whatever. So I grabbed it, but it was this card. You didn't even need to grab the card, and you didn't even need to register for doing it. So I have it. So I feel like, okay, well, this isn't someone specific that I'm like abandoning, but I need to give myself a little bit more grace with getting this done.
Right. And so that's why I was concerned because it was you were trying to turn it around so quickly.
I know. And if it had been like I thought it was, I would have. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, so this is just like a standard, like donate to your shelter thing. So I'm going to do it. And I really want Ryder to come with me. That's why we grabbed a boy age 5 to 7, because I feel like one of the things I'm struggling with him, and I have, forever, but especially around Christmas and birthdays, it's like, this isn't about you getting gifts. Mm-hmm. This isn't all about you and what you want for Christmas. And I feel like a lot of moms deal with that. It's about like the spirit of Christmas and doing something for somebody else and gifting other people. Like I'm at the point, I hit this point not that long ago, a few years ago, where I get more excited to give people gifts than I should have hit that point earlier, but I still loved getting my gifts.
Yeah, it definitely happens when you have kids.
When you have kids. And so I've been trying to explain that to him. We watched this little Netflix movie. Do y'all do Netflix shows? Yeah. Okay, so like when the season, like Halloween, they have like their Halloween shows and then they go away and then the Christmas shows come on. So I always feel like some sort of duty that like when the Christmas shows are up, my kids need to be watching a Christmas show and not like a all year round show.
Right. Take advantage.
Is silly. Yeah, but I'm like, you can watch anything you want. Just make it Christmas.
Well, it's like when you go out of town, you don't want to go to a chain restaurant. You want to go to something exclusive to that place.
And if it's there, like it's going to go away.
Yeah.
So we all sat down last weekend and wanted to watch a Christmas movie together. This is when my stepson, who's 18, was in town too. And so I picked one out, and it was something about like the elf on the shelf has like a movie line now.
So insane.
Yeah, it reminds me of Ryan, the little kid that does the toy reviews. It like started with that, and then it was like Ryan has like a freaking empire.
Yeah.
And it bothers me, but that's for another day. So there's like an elf movie line. So this one was like the spirit of Christmas or something. So anyway, it's about like, I could talk a lot about children's shows and how I feel like 2021, they're trying to twist too many like of the world's themes into our damn kids shows. Like I just want to watch a kids show. Like I don't need Chase on the Paw Patrol movie thinking about mental health, and like my kids end up crying every time we watch something that's just supposed to be happy. So we're watching this Netflix show, and the city, the little town that these people lived in, like everybody had lost the Christmas spirit because they were too wrapped up in themselves. So it was like all these kids like just talking about what they wanted for Christmas. This one guy had a little shop, or not a shop, it was like a food bank type place. Usually the donations came flowing in around Christmas time, but no one was donating food to this little food bank. Anyway, the kids like had their little change of heart and went and put all their money together, their babysitting money, all of this stuff, and raised money, went to the grocery store, bought the stuff, blah, blah, blah. So the point where like no one in the city has Christmas spirit and everybody's being like all grumpy, and then the guy in the shop's talking about how sad it is that no one's donating. All 4 of us were crying.
Oh, really?
Like, okay. Yeah, me, Ryder, Anna, and I swear to God, my 18-year-old stepson was crying.
Okay.
And we're all like, where did the Christmas spirit go? Like, it was very emotional, this damn, like, 30-minute Netflix show. And so I feel like that, like, clicked. Something for Ryder clicked. And he was like, Mom, what's this all about? So I started talking to him all about it. And I just feel like it's important that we talk to our kids about giving back, and it's not all about toys. Everybody gets so wrapped up in like what so-and-so got for Christmas, what so-and-so got for Christmas. So that was a very long-winded version of telling you why it's important to me that Ryder comes with me when we do the mom game donation.
Love it.
So I saw it all syncing up where I was like, I've got to bring him, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do it a little bit more on my own time and then still give it to the Salvation Army because obviously there's people there in need at all times.
Yes.
But if it had been a specific person, I would have done it.
Okay, I got you.
Because I was not going to leave a specific kid like high and dry.
I see what you're saying.
Yes, but it was like, just don't buy this and bring it, whatever.
Right.
So we're still doing it.
I forget you. I forget you. I understand.
Gotcha.
Totally. Not that you sound like I forgive you. I don't need to forgive you for anything.
No, you do. I failed.
I was going to say, I got you. Like, I get it.
And I will leave you alone.
No, but
Killer says on the
okay, so we have a big announcement, or I have a big announcement to make.
Yes, you do.
Before we get to my big announcement, we want to talk about one of our sponsors, and it's a very fitting sponsor to precede this announcement that I am going to make right here on the Mom Game. And that sponsor is Globe Life, hint, hint. The job market right now is a different landscape than it used to be, whether you're attempting to balance your work and home life or find a career that aligns with your goals and needs. It's a lot to juggle. If you're looking for a career path that offers a flexible schedule, the ability to make a difference, and the independence to build your own business, take a look at Globe Life. Anyone watching the Texas Rangers play has seen the name Globe Life, but people may not know how much opportunity is there and how many successful women thrive in their careers with Globe Life. If you've never considered the insurance industry, you should know that a growing number of women are finding success within it. Globe Life has been around for generations and prides itself on its commitment to make tomorrow better. With virtual and in-person business models, you can find success wherever you are. If you want to be paid what you're worth, keep a flexible schedule, and find meaning in your career while being engaged in what matters most at home, reach out to Globe Life today at globelifeagents.com. It could change your trajectory in a way you never thought possible. That's globelifeagents.com to discover what a career at Globe Life can do for you. Truly grateful for the folks at Globe Life, not only their partnership with us here at the Mom Game, but also to the radio spots that we do.
Mine are getting a lot of run right now.
Yours
got a lot of run.
They did. I feel like they're breaking us up now about our beneficiaries.
Yes.
And all that kind of stuff. So my big announcement is I'm coming back to the Rangers for another season. So this will be thanks. My ninth working for the team. My 18th covering the team.
Oh my goodness.
Shit is
Are there
real.
18-year-olds in the clubhouse yet?
It's close. It's close. This is, I wrote a blog about it on our website, themomgamepod.com. And it basically just kind of explains my thought process. I do this every year. The Rangers are gracious enough to allow me the opportunity to make the decision. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's two things that have to be involved that, they let me make that decision. And also too, they have to want me back. Right. And so, fortunately for the last 7-8 years, both of those things have happened. Mm-hmm. And even though there's been times where I wondered if maybe this is the time that it's time to walk away. Maybe I am just a little too long in the tooth for this thing. Maybe these guys are just a little too young for me to identify with. I have the conversation every season with my family, every off season with my family about, do you realize what this means? This means mommy's going to be on the road. This means mommy's going to be working at night. This means mommy's not going to be at every game. And this season, honestly, with my kids was the easiest conversation.
Really?
Oh, they were like, go back. We love you working. I think part of that, they've forgotten what it's like for me to travel.
Right, so I guess you will be doing that.
Because I haven't traveled in 2 years. That's the plan. And then I think, too, there's a part of them, they're old enough now to kind of think, mommy has a cool job. Mm-hmm. They're old enough to want to go to the games. They're old enough to think it's cool that they get to have their birthday party there.
Yeah.
There's...
Well, Henry's Baseball's his favorite.
It's
thing,
his favorite.
right?
Well, and like
Like
Hattie
his favorite
gets
sport.
invested in the players. Like she was really close with
Oh,
Joey
I remember
Gallo.
she was so sad.
Yeah, and so they're starting
That's
to.
part of your family's identity.
Yes.
Like we feel that same way too.
Yeah, and so I feel like my kids are starting to create these emotional attachments to not only the players but the organization, which I love. I think it's so sweet.
Yeah.
And so it's here we go again.
Right.
And so it's it's not an easy decision to make every year. I'm thankful that it's one that I've gotten to make, and it's one that they let me make, and they let me continue to sign these 1-year deals. So I have that flexibility from season to season. But I'm stoked. It's like I wrote in the blog, like, I think about all these, relationships that I've developed over the last 18 years, and they're tremendous, and they're so sad when they aren't here anymore. I still have the relationships, but they're not here. They're not Rangers. They're not a part of baseball anymore, whatever the situation may be. And it's not just players, it's their families. It's the coaching staff.
Oh,
their
you're seeing
families.
these people every day.
Yes.
Like you just become a family, and then all of a sudden, whoop.
Yeah.
People are
And
gone.
so
Yeah.
I think about all those memories, and then the fact that so many of them have gone away, which that's been hard. No more Rugi, no more Elvis, no more Joey. But I still think about, I still have those guys who I am still close with. I have the Willie Calhouns and the Isaiah Kiner Falefas. And then I'm excited about starting these new relationships with guys that are invested in this team that will be here for a long time. With Marcus Simeon.
How could you
with
leave
Corey
with all
Seager.
of that happening?
And so I think to myself, okay, I may be old enough to be these guys' mom, but I still feel like I have something left in me to bring.
Yeah.
And
They don't care.
And
they don't care how old you are.
And I'm excited about building those relationships, and I'm excited about sharing those with our fans, especially now that we're at least, headed more in the right direction than we have been the last couple of years. We've made some serious investments in the future of this organization.
Yeah.
And I'm excited and want to be a part of that.
I love it. I think the day that you are not there will be a very weird, sad day. So I'm glad that is not here now, because you're a huge part of the fabric of that team at this point.
Well,
and
you're sweet.
People
and
know you better than they know a lot of the players in the clubhouse right now. So you are that familiar face that links the fans to this team, and you need to be doing that. So I'm so glad that you're back for another season of it. We will fully support you here on the Mom Game.
you.
We can do remote shows. We can do whatever.
Yeah. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Even if you're on the road, we'll talk about like what's going on in that city, whatever. Like we'll make it work. And I'm excited because I get like a front row seat to hearing about these new players that I'm excited about too. And I think people that listen to our show are excited about hearing about this new Rangers team. So congratulations.
So excited. So thank you to the Rangers.
Yes.
I'm excited to be back.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Crazy.
So
Time
now
flies.
it's kind of like sit back and wait and see what happens with
the lockout.
lockout.
Wah, wah, wah.
Was it not the biggest like roller coaster of emotions? What was that, last week?
Yeah. And
They
it's like,
made the
look at all
huge-
these new players. Look at these wonderful additions to your team. Like
I mean-
4 legit additions. And then you're like, and you're done.
And their pictures are removed from our website.
yes. And they're all, yes.
They are all shadows.
Yeah. So we'll keep you updated on all that stuff. Listen, we'll talk about that. We'll figure out what we can do. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited about another season.
Yeah.
I'm excited about hopefully maybe lockout pending, that maybe it'll be more of a normal season. Because that was another thing I thought about. Like, I don't want to walk away after the COVID year and then the kind of COVID year. Like, I don't know. I just didn't want
You want to leave on a high.
Well, and
of
even
some
if it's
sort.
not a high, like, listen, I don't know how long it's going
might
to
not
take
be
for
the
this
the
team.
high.
Right. Like, I don't know if I can go out like John Elway, but
Right.
at this point, like, also too, I need to remember, like, I don't play the games. I'm not the quarterback.
Pretty much.
But I think when you think, I think that, I don't think I sound too snooty to say
No.
that like if the Rangers were to win a World Series or something, I would, and I would ride
off into the sunset. Yeah.
My broadcasting sunset, obviously. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm excited about it. I feel really good about it. I just need this lockout to be not a dramatic, drawn out process.
Yeah, I hope that it's
anyway.
not.
Yeah, I'm stoked. So
Good.
check out the Mom
we
Game
are
Pod.
Stoked for you.
Yes, check out the momgamepod.com to kind of get like a little behind the scenes
Yep.
kind of
what went into this decision.
Into my thought process.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to another good Rangers season.
Yes. We'll have one more show together by ourselves. And then we've got the guests galore.
Yeah.
We've got Norman Mary Hitchkiss from The Ticket. We've got Mike Ducey and Sam Gannon from Fox 4. We've got Danny Bayless, I believe is the first show of the new year. So we got tons of great stuff coming up. Give us your feedback on social media as always.
Yeah.
I've gotten away from saying this. We've always been trying to create this community. We feel like we're starting to do that. Oh, a random story. I'm in Starbucks yesterday.
Yeah.
And this random guy, like I'm over in the corner drinking my water before I head back to my house, checking my email. And he was like, "When's the next podcast?" And I was like,
"Whoa!"
And I wasn't even wearing like a mom game hat or anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, "We're actually shooting tomorrow."
I love it.
He was like, "Okay, I'll look out for it." So
I tell you, every time that happens to me too, I get excited. I'm
so
like,
excited.
Someone in the wild is just listening to us.
In the wild,
like not
so
just
amazing.
Because they know us or they're my friend or they know you from the Rangers, know me from The Ticket or whatever. Like we want that audience, this audience, The Ticket, the Rangers, the mom game. We want them to start forming their own audience, which is so fun.
We're on our way.
Because I feel like we are.
We are. I would agree.
We're going to keep churning these bad boys out.
We are. Okay. Thanks you guys so much for checking us out once again. All of our randomness, all our hot route from the very beginning of the show.
I know.
All the fun stuff.
We did it.
We will see
you called
you
an audible. I think it worked out.
Worked out great. All right. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you next time. In the meantime, Mom Game.
Mom Game out.
Out.